to leave the house clean, and my kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's gonna sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even gonna let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
Mom, can you give me some breakfast?
You don't need food.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be revisiting the case of Ruby Franke. If you have seen all over the internet or in my last video, you would know that Ruby Franke is a mother and a vlogger that was just recently arrested for child abuse. She has previously been accused of abusing her children, but just recently her children were found and she was arrested finally. So I'm going to give you guys a few updates that I have seen on the internet and on the news and just kind of talk overall about the updates of this case. So with all that being said, let's get right into this video. As I was saying, this case has been recently occurring and is still occurring, is very new. Pretty much is what has been happening is these children were all over the internet. Their mom would vlog them. They had a channel called The 8 Passengers, and people have always accused Ruby of just like disrespecting her children and really like overall abusing them. Just recently, one of the youngest children was found duct taped in the basement of Ruby's co-worker Jody. They did a podcast together, was found duct taped and malnourished under the supervision of their mother Ruby and of Jody. I'm not going to say the names of the children. You can find them on the internet just for privacy and for the sake of these poor children. But one of the youngest, it was one of the boys. He went over to the neighbor's house of where they were staying at Jody's house and asked for help and for food and water. He was duct taped. You can see there's a voice recording of the police call.
12-year-old boy showed up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
Okay.
And he asked us to call the police. So he's very afraid, because what's happened to him is his fault.
You could tell that it was just a very serious situation. The child literally escaped the basement of this house to get help and just to get some food and water. And this was under the supervision of their mother and Jody, like I was saying. Once that police call was made, things started moving very quickly. They found the other child, the daughter, also in the basement, duct taped and malnourished. These children quickly got help and got help they needed, received medical care immediately, according to the state that they were in at this point. The internet has been going crazy over this situation just because she was so popular, and it's just crazy to see that a YouTuber is like actually so sick, and it was all like hiding behind smiles on the screen. It's insane. But now this case has escalated very quickly and going back into further questioning of how Ruby really was to her children. You can see in some of the YouTube videos how terrible the mother was. I'm going to insert a few clips here if you guys can see. I also posted my last video if you want the full rundown of how Ruby was to her children.
Stop crying or I'm going to have you go upstairs and you won't have any breakfast. Okay. Instead of crying, you need to use words to tell me.
Because I was scared of you because you were being so mad.
You say it one more time, and then you're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
But in conclusion, she really would use food as a privilege to her children. She would do really severe consequences that really just weren't even consequences. They were straight up abuse to her children overall. Her daughter Sherry is posted her being thankful that she was arrested, and now we are going into the court hearing. The other day there was a court hearing. She was in prison still. You can see in the video she is locked up in her jumpsuit. She looks absolutely terrified, which I think is hilarious, and I think she truly deserves this. But this court hearing was for where her children were going to be, and where, like, just for the safety of the children, where she wants her children. And in this hearing, this woman is so sick. She blamed one of her youngest children for SAing other children and saying that this child is like has touched 20 other children inappropriately, has abused other children, has abused his siblings, has touched his siblings. The fact that she abused her children and is now blaming them for doing inappropriate things to other kids is crazy to me, because this was never like an issue before. For me personally, if that was my child, I would immediately get him the help that he needed instead of just like abusing my kid, because if anything, that makes your children worse, in my opinion. But the fact that she's now speaking out on this once she is in jail and blaming her child for the abuse that she did to her kids is literally absolutely insanely sick to me. She said that it was with 20 other children, and then her other sibling, then the other child started because that this child was doing it. There was also her accusing him of watching inappropriate videos online when he was 3 years old. Like I said, if it started this young, they should have gotten the help that they needed, in my opinion. I also just, how did he have access to this? Because they didn't have smartphones or anything. But to me, this woman is a pathological liar now, because I just don't believe that. And like I said, if it was true, they would have already done something about it. It wouldn't have come up now in the court case once she is now being exposed for what she was doing to her kids. But with all that being said, I think it has come to a conclusion that the children are now separated, and the one that was accused of doing these things to other children has to be in a home without other kids. This is absolutely heartbreaking to me. He's used to being in a home with 6 kids, and now because he finally decided to speak out and got confidence to get the help that he needed, he's being punished. This woman is literally punishing her children behind bars, and the court is allowing it right now that I know of. I don't know what actually is happening, but I do know that he's supposed to be in a home without other kids now because of what Ruby is accusing him of. Another crazy thing to me is the husband is still not in jail. I know that Kevin did appear at the court hearing, but he has not spoken at all about it. I'm assuming the lawyers are not letting him speak on it. But to me, like, how come he's not being questioned? How come he's just sitting in the courtroom as this is all happening? I don't understand that. I don't understand why he's not behind bars as well. You can literally see in the videos that he is also part of the issue, because he would have gotten the help that they needed, but he didn't. He didn't reach out. He didn't try to get help that we know of, at least. So to me, I don't understand why he's not behind bars. It's just all very twisted, in my opinion, this whole case. Like, how come the family didn't speak out until recently? I know Bonnie, like I put in the last video, she just spoke out. I think it's a little bit more difficult from an outside view to help. But like I said, the father is literally there all the time. He lived with them. He's in these videos, and he didn't say anything. He's part of the problem, and he's not detained. I think her next court hearing is September 21st, so I think we'll hear a little bit more then of what will be happening to Ruby and the kids. But right now, it's just kind of, she's just in jail. It does say that Ruby was charged for 6 felony counts of aggravated child abuse recently. Her little partner in crime, Jody, is also charged for the same thing and will remain in jail until the next court hearing. They have to stay in jail without bail for now, which I am very grateful for, because I do not think they deserve bail, and I think they should get pretty much life in prison, in my opinion. That might be controversial. I don't know what you guys think, but for my last video, you guys did seem like everyone was agreeing and that she should be put away for life, if worse. So I'm glad that people are seeing and opening their eyes to this terrible situation. Did you know that her oldest daughter, Sherry, was allegedly in the court when she was being sentenced? So I really hope that she's getting justice by watching her mother in prison. I do hope the other children are okay, because this is very terrifying. They're pretty much brainwashed by Ruby this whole time and thinking that the way that they were being treated was how a mother should treat their children. I'm sure seeing their mother in jail is very terrifying and just scary. And they probably don't even know where she is actually right now, which is also scary and sad. So I do feel really bad for the children. I'm sure it's not as bad as being abused their whole life, but I'm sure it is, you know, a scary thing to be separated from siblings while their mom's away. Their dad, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's not with the kids. I don't know if he's not allowed to be with the children. If you know, please let me know, because I'm very curious as to why he's just like there. The whole thing with Kevin is very odd to me. I don't understand anything with that. Like, why is he not questioned? I'm not really sure. I don't know why he's not with the kids. I don't know why he didn't step in and be like, oh, it's not true. I'm pretty sure because he's part of the issue. But I will be doing more updates. Let me know what else you want to see with Ruby, because it's very interesting and insane to me, this whole case. But I'm glad that we are able to see what's happening so we can get more updates and just understand the extent to how crazy this woman is. I do know that Jody is getting the same treatment that Ruby is receiving right now. They're both in jail. They're both getting the same sentence. I don't know who is at more fault. I'm pretty sure it's very people. I'm not sure like who duct taped them, and I'm very curious to find out, and I'm sure we'll find out over time. But I'm just hoping that they get what they deserve in prison. I'm gonna say the nicest way possible. I just really hope so, because they're terrible human beings, and I feel so awful for those children. But I will continue to do updates. If you would like to see, let me know down below if there's any other cases you would like to know. And if you have any other information that I did not state in this video, please let me know, and I will get that into my next video so you guys can know all the updates and so I have all the accurate information. So please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all the love you guys have given me recently. And let me know what you want to see next time, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.